Hi guys. So I grew up being very judgmental of people. I thought I was really cool and up on my high horse when I was like 12, and I was like, I'm never gonna drink, I'm never gonna do drugs. People who drink are so dumb and they're all going to hell. I grew up thinking I was never gonna drink, alcohol was bad, and then I turned like 16 or so, and I went to my first ever party, okay? And like, I had been around alcohol before, but I'd never been to like a high school party, and I'd never been around teenagers drinking, right? So I was actually kind of excited like to go to the party environment because I was a very social person, I really wanted friends, but I had no interest in drinking, like none at all. I wasn't as judgmental as I was when I was 12, but like people offered me drinks, I was like, no, I'm good, I don't want it. Like, I just wasn't interested in it. So, not to be depressing or anything, but something really bad happened that traumatized me, and I became depressed after that, and I quickly wanted to sabotage my life. And I'm not kidding, I actively was like, I don't want to have a good life anymore. I literally want to do things that will ruin my life. I don't know why, that was just my thought process. I was very down, okay? So the next time I went to like, it was like a Halloween party, and somebody offered me a drink, then I was like, hell yeah, I want a drink. And I was excited. So I had a little strawberryta, which is like a beer drink maybe? I don't know, it's not good at all. But I just wanted to drink. Like, it was half social and half just like, I just really wanted to. And so I had my first sip of a drink. And let me tell you guys something. When I had this first sip of alcohol, something inside of me was like, I need more. And it freaked me out a little bit, but it also felt good to drink because if you ever drank alcohol before, you know that it makes you feel a little loose and excited and happy and whatever. So I was excited, and I was also like craving it really hard. So it was like very weird experience, very weird experience, but a relatively good first experience with drinking. So I was like, cool, this is fun. I want to do this more. So from then on, I probably drank like every weekend. I was never the type to get like blackout drunk. I never threw up. I never like drank till I was sick or anything. I just had enough to where I was like drunk per se. And I'm ashamed to say I was doing this in my mom's house. She didn't notice. I was like upstairs with my friends, and I had secret alcohol stashed in my room. I bought like a giant bottle of vodka, like a huge bottle, and I kept it in this like bin that I had in my room that nobody would ever look in, and nobody ever found it. And sometimes I would drink it by myself, like out of this weird tendency. Again, it goes back to craving it the first time I had it. It was like this weird physical want that I had, not to get drunk, not to feel like I was drunk, but just to consume alcohol. It was so weird. So I would find myself occasionally just like drinking a little bit straight from the bottle of my big ass bottle of vodka. I would constantly sneak wine from my dad because he always had a bottle of wine on the counter. I would steal, he had like a liquor, I don't know what it was, like whiskey, it was disgusting, but I would steal that from his cabinet downstairs, and I just wanted to drink. It was not great. I remember on my 17th birthday, I got drunk in front of everybody and nobody knew because I brought alcohol in a bottle, like a plastic water bottle, and I like spiked my drink with it. You guys can see like I was obsessed with drinking to the point where like I wanted to bring it to my own birthday party where nobody else was drinking. Which like looking back, that's like, if I had kept doing this, it would have been a problem. Okay, I was like on that track. So I was drinking every weekend, having a good time. And then at some point then, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but I'll just briefly go over it again. My best friend at the time, one of my best friends at the time, someone I had like partied with or whatever, she tells my family that I've been drinking. And keep in mind, nobody else in my family really drank except like my brothers. My sisters didn't drink. They were very not like party people. And I was being a party person, and I was also 17, and I shouldn't have been doing that. It was pretty unsafe, obviously, because underage drinking is not great. And so my friend was worried about me, whatever, and she told them everything I was doing. She told them a lot of stuff about my personal life that nobody should ever tell anybody else. I should have been the one to tell them some of these things, but whatever, she thought it was her duty to do so. They had a whole conversation with me and my parents, and everybody was like, Dani, you can't be doing this. Oh my God, I was crying. It was a bit traumatizing, not gonna lie. They had like an intervention with me, and they like took me to a parking lot, and they were like, we know what you've been doing. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is scary. So I did stop drinking for a little bit after that, but I didn't stop smoking weed. And I'm not talking about weed in this video. I was smoking while I was also drinking, but I will leave that for another video because I do want to do a whole video on why I don't smoke weed anymore. But I did continue smoking weed every now and then, like in secret, because for some reason, I don't know, I craved that as well. But I shortly thereafter came back to, you know, drinking with my friends, because obviously telling a teenager not to drink doesn't really work. This was less times. It was maybe like, you know, 4 or 5 times after that. And by this time I was about 18 18, okay? So it had been about a year and a half of me drinking on and off, sometimes more frequently than others. So then after those few times of drinking, like after my family told me to stop and everything, I met this guy. I am now married to him, but I met him and he was straight edge, which basically just means that you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do any drugs, and you never plan to, ever. He was very anti-drinking. And it's not that he doesn't want his friends to drink. He doesn't care if people are drinking around him, but he did have this idea that he wanted to date somebody who didn't drink. Now, he never forced it on me, but he did say, like, I don't really want to be with someone who drinks. And like, I totally get that. It's your preference. Like, I wouldn't want to date someone who smokes weed. So I totally get where he was coming from with that. But for me, where I went wrong is I but I kind of convinced him that I didn't want to drink anymore when I did. So I stopped drinking with friends. Like, I didn't have a lot of reasons to drink anyway, so it was actually pretty easy to just be like, yeah, I don't really want to drink anymore. But deep in my soul, I wanted to, and I still had these tendencies. So there was an incident where a couple months into dating, I went to a wedding. It was actually my sister's wedding, and I was out of town. My boyfriend wasn't there. My husband now, my boyfriend at the time. Emin wasn't there. I was in a different state, and I decided to lie to him and get drunk and not tell him, because I knew if I told him, he would be a little uncomfortable, because we kind of mutually were like, yeah, we don't drink, like whatever. And I was lying to him, which I should not have done. But I had convinced him I didn't want to drink anymore, so I wasn't about to tell him that I wanted to get drunk at my sister's wedding, but I really wanted to get drunk at my sister's wedding. Keep in mind, nobody was giving me alcohol. I was literally going around the wedding and I was taking people's half-drunk glasses of wine and just finishing them. And like, I was tasting everybody's wine. I was chugging it when nobody was looking. I was just trying to drink, which is like so crazy. Like, looking back on it, when you're trying to get drunk in a scenario where nobody your age is getting drunk and you just want to drink alcohol, that is probably an issue. So my boyfriend actually called me during the wedding, and I accidentally like basically told him that I was drunk and didn't mean to, and like he found out. He got really upset with me for lying. He wasn't even that mad that I drank. He was just mad that I lied to him, and I totally understand it. So that was a huge fight in our relationship, and I was really sad. Like, the next day I woke up and I was like, Jesus, like, it really wasn't worth it if it comes with the price of lying to my boyfriend and making him sad, because that is not cool. So I didn't drink for a really long time, and then the pandemic hit. My husband and I got married. We moved in together like right before the pandemic, so like we were living together through the whole pandemic. We took it super seriously. We never saw anybody, so I just never had any reason to drink for like the entirety of 2020. However, and this is how we come to nowadays, when I turned 21, I was like, okay, I'll try drinking again. Like, my husband and I talked about it. He was kind of like, hey, I know that you want to, like, secretly, because it's obvious, and the way that you like are when alcohol is around, I can just tell that you want to drink. So like, if you want to, it's fine. And it was very nice of him to say that. Shortly after that, I drank a couple times. Okay, it was maybe like 4 more times. And every time, pretty much, I felt the insatiable urge to drink more alcohol. And I didn't, because I have self-control somewhat, and I didn't want to get drunk, but I did feel, I don't think you guys understand, it's almost like being hungry. It's like I was craving alcohol and I hadn't drank in years. And so like, I had some wine one day, I had a little seltzer the other day, I had something else the other day, because my roommates drink, so like they would offer me stuff and I was like, sure, that's fine. And then about 2 weeks ago, I decided I don't want to drink anymore. And I will explain to you my main reasonings. So the second reason, other than craving alcohol and it freaking me out, is that I don't like the way it tastes. I really don't. I kind of enjoy wine, but to me, it's just not worth it. Like, it's not good enough to where I will risk having a problem to drink it. It's just not good enough to. I don't like the taste of it. I would much rather have apple juice or soda or something else, like, in my opinion. I know it's an acquired taste, but like for me, like, alcohol just makes stuff taste worse for me. And then also, I don't like the way I feel when I drink. I like to have fun and I like to be alert and aware and excited, right? But when I drink, it feels like when I turn my head is moving like delayed, if that makes sense. Like, have you ever seen something where it's like in movies, like where the head moves, but then there's like a blur moving with them? That's how I feel when I drink even one drink. I'm super lightweight because I never drink. I feel very woozy very fast. I feel very tired. I just want to go to bed. And And of course, I don't want to become an alcoholic. I am deathly afraid of continuing to drink and then one day having a problem and not even realizing it, and then it ruining my life, because I know that alcoholism is extremely serious and it can kill you, it can ruin your family, your job, and it is in my genetics. It does run in my family. So I really don't want to risk it. Since I don't even like it that much, it's just not worth risking. Also, there is something a little bit fun with me and my husband being the only sober ones at a party. Again, not that I think I'm better than anyone who drinks. I do not think that at all, but it's just fun, like being a couple who doesn't drink. It's just a good time. I can take care of my drunk friends. I can be the designated driver. I can make sure that everybody's safe. Like there's just a lot of good things about it for me, for my life, and it definitely does not have to be your personal choice. And again, I do not judge anybody who drinks. I don't care, and neither does my husband. I hope you guys can tell that it's the best choice for me, for sure. So if it's the best choice for you, just know that you don't have to. And if you're the only sober one, there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't like alcohol, that's perfectly fine. And goodbye.